Georgia lost a lot of key players off last year's team, and that's why they're going to be better next year in 2025. Let's talk about it next on the Locked On Bulldogs podcast.
You are Locked On Bulldogs, your daily podcast on the Georgia Bulldogs. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Welcome back, everybody. This is Locked On Bulldogs, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every single day. He is Daniel. I am Clint. Today's episode brought to you by FanDuel. More on FanDuel, FanDuel.com. Get in the action. Daniel and I will be doing a whole entire segment on winners, overs. FanDuel is the place you're going to go. More on them in a second. My man, I'm going to set you up for today. Today's episode is this. It says this. This is a common occurrence in life. Sometimes you have that friend.
Okay.
You're looking around at your life and you're thinking to yourself, my life is not what it was supposed to be. What is happening in my life? I'm kind of sad. I'm not doing what I like. My money seems to be draining. What's going on? And then you look around and your circle of friends are moochers, depressed, sad, unmotivated, just doing nothing in life. And then you realize it's who I've surrounded myself with that is dragging my life down. You know what the solution is? But get rid of losers in your life. That's
Get better people.
Okay. Well, we might have a little bit of case of that. My man's out here. It's peak nearly. I'm not going to call it off season anymore. It's peak camp season.
Oh, it's camp season. All right.
Because we are listening to Kirby. We're listening to players. We're going back and rewatching game film. You heard me. Mm-hmm. If you're not actively going through the saved downloaded files and actively looking through game film, studying, knowing, well, don't worry, we got you. We're here for it. My man Daniel has an addition by subtraction. We've lost a bunch of people. He said in the open, is that making Georgia better in 2025? Daniel, where are we going? What are your thoughts on this?
Yeah, so, let's start here. All of this, as you mentioned, Clint, spurred on because had a little time and rewatched the Tennessee game from last year. Not sure if you remember, but Tennessee was the highest ranked team in the playoff standings at the time that they came to Athens. Georgia coming off a fresh loss to Ole Miss. Yep. Outside of the college football playoff picture. That was the narrative going on about Georgia. And Tennessee came in and Josh Heupel did what Josh Heupel does. He got off to a quick start against Georgia, and then he managed to scrap together 0 points in the second half.
Oh, no.
En route to a double-digit defeat at the hands of the Bulldogs. But as I was watching, Clint, I could not help. This was not the reason that I went to this game, but I could not help but immediately have my eyes drawn a couple places.
Okay.
And as I noticed things, the narrative began to form in my head. I think there are several key areas where the fact that Georgia loses players is going to benefit them greatly in the long run. And you may say, well, but the players behind them weren't good enough to play last year ahead of them. To which I would counter, but these are players that have another year of seasoning, another year of development under their belts. And so I think we are definitely going to see an uptick in production in these three key areas.
And remember, Kirby Smart has famously said, unless I trust you with the playbook, with concepts, with assignment, I can't trust you to get the field no matter what your talent is. So some of these players mentally weren't there assignment wise.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So the first area is kind of a validator of the whole argument. You know that addition by subtraction is possible because we've literally already seen this one happen, because it happened, Clint, in the first quarter of the Tennessee game. If you recall, in the first quarter of the Tennessee game, Julian Humphrey gets pulled from the game.
He gone.
He got absolutely roasted, not once, but twice.
Yes,
Got
I
a
remember.
bad pass interference penalty, and that pass interference penalty was basically the last we saw all season of Julian Humphrey. In comes Daniel Harris in that game, and oh, by the way, Daniel Harris plays really well in that game, is a key reason that we win that game.
Yep.
Because he's able to shut down his receiver. Dalen Everett was already doing work over on the other side. Daniel Harris comes in, doesn't miss a beat. Oops, addition by subtraction. Julian Humphrey's gone. But that was the Tennessee game.
Okay.
I'm not comparing Julian Humphrey to Daniel Harris now.
Interesting.
Because after the first quarter of the Tennessee game, Julian Humphrey became our number 3 corner on the depth chart.
Mm-hmm.
And so the guy that I'm comparing Julian Humphrey to is Ellis Robinson.
Oh,
Number 3 corner coming
I
into the season now
I see what you're
is
doing.
Ellis Robinson. Are you going to tell me that you would not like to have a sophomore, full year in the program, multiple spring practice, Ellis Robinson as your 3rd corner, a guy who we expect to play quite a bit?
Yeah.
Over Julian Humphrey. This is simple addition by subtraction. Georgia is better in the secondary now that Julian Humphrey is gone. This is the premise of the whole argument, but we've literally seen it happen with Julian Humphrey last season.
Mm-hmm. Daniel, it's simple, guys. It is as simple as this. Take last year's 3 best corners. You just listed them. We didn't know much else about the cornerback room because we didn't see much of them until the 4th quarter of a couple games. But we saw those 3. This year, if you're telling me the change is from Daniel Harris to Ellis Robinson, and that's now the floor. Ellis Robinson is our floor of the cornerback room. Holy jeez. That's a huge asset for the Dogs' longevity. This year, next year, the passing game, shutting things down. You're not wrong, Daniel. Just right there, pass attack game against all these vaunted passing offenses coming in.
Yeah, the known quantities at corner are Dalen Everett and Daniel Harris, 2 guys that we both really like. We like them. We like them a lot, and for good reason. They played really well. Now you throw in like a Jonel Aguero at star. That's a bit more of an unknown, obviously, in the defensive scheme. But in terms of the corners on the outside, the known commodities are those 2 guys. And then you sprinkle in one of the highest upside guys on the entire team as a 3rd option at corner, when my baseline is really good already. As you said, the sky's the limit. There's nowhere to go but up. Julian Humphrey, good riddance to you. I mean, I don't know how else to say it. Good riddance. These are not all going to be good riddance.
No.
But this one definitely is. Addition by subtraction. I got 2 more position groups we're going to talk about addition by subtraction. But first, these.
And these are, in fact, FanDuel. Summer sports are in full swing. Whether it's about baseball on the lights, golf on the greens, or high-stakes soccer action, FanDuel is the best way to make every game more exciting. You're already following the action. Why not make it a little bit more interesting, Daniel? FanDuel can get you in the game instead of getting sunburned on the beach. Look, we love the new daily promotions that happen to find fun ways to bet on every single thing. We can find something to get after every single time. New to FanDuel, new customers can bet just $5 and get $150 in bonus bets if your first bet wins. Open the FanDuel app today. Visit FanDuel.com to get started.
I had one job. And
your one job is to tell us who, in fact, is the 2nd addition by subtraction off this Georgia team. That's your only job.
Yeah.
Daniel. That's what you're good at.
All right. We're treading into some delicate waters here.
Yeah.
Okay.
And if I may, if I may, if any man is up for the task of delicately parsing through the emotions of others.
Listen, we've all come through the 2024 season. If you're not over it by now, if you're not come to terms with it by now, I don't know if I know how to help you. And by the way, I'm not taking the low-hanging fruit of Carson Beck on this list because, and here's the God's honest truth, Clint, I don't know that anyone could say with 100% certainty that Gunnar Stockton for Carson Beck is addition by subtraction.
Yep.
Like, it might be subtraction by subtraction. I don't think it will be, but that is one of the possible outcomes. So I'm only going with places where I am confident Georgia's going to be better. And if the second segment hurts your feelings, then come back for the third segment because that one is really going to go after some sacred cows in your life.
No.
Okay?
Oh, no. Georgia fans, we love you and we're glad you're here.
The second segment is the Arian Smith, Dominic Lovett segment. Now, Georgia led the nation in an offensive statistical category, Clint. Do you know what it was?
It was probably rushing yards.
Nope.
Passing touchdowns?
Nope.
Oh, that's right. Dropped wide open passes.
Yeah, no, it was drops. They led the nation with 36 drops. Now,
there's not 20 games in a season.
36
cool
drops.
Cool.
Do you know who led the team in drops? I will give you a hint.
Go ahead.
And you as an average Georgia fan, you may not know this.
It's not Arian Smith.
It was a two-way tie. And it was Arian Smith and Dominic Lovett.
Both.
It's both guys. Both receivers that are no longer on the squad.
It's wild.
With 9 each, Clint. 9 drops each.
Well, that's probably okay because they probably averaged like 9 catches a game.
No, they didn't.
Oh, so it wasn't 1 drop out of 10. It wasn't 10% of their targets were dropped.
No. It was higher than that.
It was almost a drop a game, and it was 4 catches a game.
Yeah.
3 catches. Oh.
So we're talking about 20% of the ball about 20% of the catchable balls thrown their way. They ain't coming down with. And just batting them down like it's a Hail Mary and they're playing corner. Just batting it down, Clint. Dominic Lovett, I think, did some good things. Hell, Arian Smith did some great things for Georgia. None of them were playing wide receiver, but he did some great things for Georgia.
Recovered a couple fumbles.
If you listened to the special teams coordinator interview this last week, then you know that they were 2 of the best gunners in Georgia history. Well, la-dee-flippin'-da. I'm going to hitch my horse to the wagon that says we're going to be able to find somebody else to sprint down the field and hit the guy that's trying to catch the punt. Because what I want is wide receivers on my team who catch the football.
That's wild.
Zachariah Branch is better than Arian Smith and Dom Lovett. Noah Thomas is better than Arian Smith and Dom Lovett.
Yep.
Dylan Bell is better than Arian Smith and Dom Lovett.
Yep.
London Humphreys is better than Arian Smith and Dom Lovett.
By the way, really quick, news out of camp. London Humphreys doing some things.
Stay tuned to the Locked On Bulldogs podcast for more on that. Colby Young is better than Arian Smith and Dom Lovett.
Yep.
Talon Taylor is better than Arian Smith and Dom Lovett. CJ Wiley is better than Arian Smith and Dom Lovett. I've just listed 7 players who are categorically going to be better. And the only thing that is stopping them from being better is this coaching staff's refusal to take liabilities off the field. Well, guess what? Those liabilities don't play here anymore. And so addition by subtraction. Clint, this is not only the one that I'm the most confident about, it is by far the one that Georgia fans should be the most excited about. 9 drops each for what people would say were our 2 best wide receivers.
Yes. We rolled in to an offense. Again, every single person. I'm going to tell you the 3-headed passing attack that was leading Georgia, led by the head case Carson Beck himself. Low-hanging fruit. I get it.
Mm-hmm.
Dom Lovett and Arian Smith. I defy you to tell me of another passing game trio that was that low on a competitive team.
I'll be totally honest with you. The thing that makes me the most nervous that Gunnar Stockton might not be an upgrade from Carson Beck, and that Carson Beck might actually go to Miami and be really good, is how bad these wide receivers were. The more I think about it, the less I can even come to terms with how unspeakably bad the wide receiver room at Georgia was last year.
This is not, I'm not trying to set you up. I'm not trying to pull punches. I'm legitimately asking you, and I'll answer my question and see. Arian Smith and Dom Lovett, talent-wise, from a purely physicality ability, not the skill of catch, but from a pure talent perspective, a wide receiver, leaps and bounds above somebody like Chris Conley. Chris Conley could not do what those two were able to do running around.
Certainly wasn't as fast as like an Arian Smith.
That's what I mean. Not as fast. You could see Dom Lovett making cuts pretty well to get open in the zones. When you take a 7-on-7 and when other people weren't around, you're looking at Arian Smith and Dom Lovett going, oh, wow. Oh, these guys are good. Which, by the way, don't care about 7-on-7 at all. Okay, great.
Well,
thank you.
Yeah. We're not Lincoln Riley, so why would we?
There you go. Chris Conley. Last year, we had one of our most, quote, depleted wide receiver rooms. Chris Conley and the like. We would have been just fine with them compared to Arian Smith and Dom Lovett.
Oh, Lord.
Just fine.
Of course we would be. I mean, I'm not trying to pile on because I think kudos to Arian Smith for doing a lot of the unsung things and Dom Lovett for doing a lot of the unsung things that actually really did help Georgia.
Okay.
I just got really sick and tired of them being trotted out there play after play after play to just drop passes. And I don't know. The proof is in the pudding. No one in the country dropped more passes in college football last year than Arian Smith or Dom Lovett, and they tied. They both played for our team.
Interesting.
How does that not? I mean, I was told
Go ahead.
by certain Twitter accounts in the middle of the season last year that Arian Smith was not a problem, that he was our best receiver, that there was nothing wrong with the performances. Addition by subtraction, Clint. I am very excited about the wide receiver room, but mostly I'm excited about who's not there, not who is there. And that's just the facts.
It is just the facts.
We got more coming up right after these.
Daniel is just breaking hearts. Sure. This man, if you knew him in high school, I mean, just slaying the ladies. College, this man's beating them off with a stick, breaking hearts left and right. Still continue to do so. This time it's Georgia fans he's breaking the hearts of because he beat SEC Pretty. Let's just
listen. Call it like we see it. SECpretty.com. Tell our girl Joy that we sent you.
We did send you.
The Locked On Bulldogs sent you.
If
you hated the second segment,
how are you going to feel about this segment, Daniel?
I told you, I'm coming after some names that I don't feel like people are allowed to talk about.
He named names.
Addition by subtraction is going to happen this year on the offensive line. Okay?
Here we go.
I'm tired of it. I'm tired of acting like Dylan Fairchild, Jared Wilson, and Tate Ratledge were really good for Georgia. Because they weren't. They weren't really good for Georgia. Over the long haul, when you look at the evidence, how could you make a case that those three interior offensive linemen, I know, like, they've got all the metrics, they check all the boxes, they've done all the things, they've had the moments, they're great personalities, they're like whatever. Look at what the team did last year. I know it's not 100% on them, but how can you have the 14th ranked rushing attack in the SEC? A rushing attack that is outside of the top 50 in college football.
Interesting.
And not like, and then with this with a straight face, look me in the eye and tell me that the interior of the offensive line was a bona fide strength for UGA, that Tate Ratledge, Dylan Fairchild, Jared Wilson were these world beaters type players. Did anyone watch the Ole Miss game last year?
I did.
Did anyone notice that in the Ole Miss game, Georgia got whipped up front over and over and over and over again by Ole Miss? Not Alabama, not Texas. Lane Kiffin's Ole Miss team absolutely decimated our offensive line. Couldn't run the ball, couldn't protect the quarterback. I know that those three guys particularly are guys that Georgia fans really like. And they're all likable guys. But I'm here to tell you, they are not up to the standard of a Georgia offensive line. Nope. The Georgia offensive line in 2024 was unacceptably poor. And that is not an opinion. That is an unequivocated fact. Just look at the metrics. Look at the numbers. Look at the production or lack thereof. And you tell me. Like, you tell me why Georgia could not ever run the ball last year.
And this is, it's a simple equation. It truly is. Carson Beck, liability on offense. You can say, well, he's responsible for the entire offense. Well, not entirely, because Georgia's identity has been being able to run the football. Again, the percentage of runs and yards per carry we had in the championship runs, the defense being almighty and incredible. You're right. However, we ran the ball with more efficiency, more yards per carry expected in those years than last year. Last year, average yards per carry expected drastically down from years prior under Kirby Smart and Mike Bobo. It's lazy to say, well, running backs, well, scheme. No. In football, and by the way, if you want proof of this, go look at the Big Ten. Okay, Big Ten, not exciting football, save for a couple teams. However, you can line up and punch somebody in the mouth and run the ball. Georgia was unable to do that last year. Expected yards per carry at any given point. Year prior, there were a couple of games where we could see, all right, we're starting to get a groove, we're starting to push, we're starting to rush. Okay, last year, the running game never, ever got going. It wasn't just the Etienne injury. Frazier was having a hard time. He had to break 3 tackles before he got to 5 yards. You can say anything you want. At a certain point, you have to start looking at the offensive line, the guys whose job it is to get expected yards, 2.5 yards off the ball, open up, get through the hole, unless there's a run blitz, for Nate Frazier and Trevor Etienne. And they couldn't do it. Hard reality is our offensive line last year was full of nobodies.
And look, this one's a bit of a stretch. I will admit this. to say this is going to be addition by subtraction this year is wishful thinking.
Okay.
Because to be honest, we don't know if it's going to be addition. We don't know. I can tell you with absolute certainty that our 3 best wide receivers are going to be better than Arian Smith this year.
Yeah.
I know it beyond a shadow of a doubt. I know for a fact that our 3 best corners are going to be better than Julian Humphrey this year. In this case, though, I don't know that Micah Morris and Drew Bobo, who we saw come in and play a couple of games last year and contribute to a pathetic offensive line.
He was better than most of everybody else.
And Micah Morris, who was there the whole time.
Yep.
And couldn't get in ahead of Dylan Fairchild or Tate Ratledge. And was in when Tate was injured.
Yeah.
And we don't know how Daniel Calhoun's going to be. Like, we don't know. We can be hopeful. Like, Xavier Truss is gone. Well, that means Monroe Freeling and Ernest Green are probably both going to play. Will they take a step forward going into this season? They're second and third respectively. You would like to hope so. You would like to think that they're going to do that.
Let me just tell you how bad this offensive line was from a very sound. I couldn't stand the name Xavier Truss for 3 years of my life.
Yeah.
Last year, he was our most consistent offensive lineman, period.
I'm not telling you for a fact that the offensive line is going to be better, but I am telling you the offensive line last year was not good. And the fact that those guys are gone is not a loss for Georgia. It's not a loss. The fact that Xavier Truss and Jared Wilson and Tate Ratledge and Dylan Fairchild, as damn good of dogs as they were, and they all were, all 4 of them, it's not a loss that they're not on the team anymore. We got to have the offensive line step up their performance in a significant way in 2025, or this season is going to be over before it starts for Gunnar Stockton in this offense. It's not going to matter.
If we can't run the ball, we are sunk. It's that simple.
It's that simple for everybody. It's that simple for Ohio State, for Oregon, for Alabama, for Tennessee. Name everyone. A high-powered offense in the last 10 years in college football. Every single one of them.
The Heisman Trophy, Cam Ward, he passed the ball a lot. How'd Miami do?
Yeah, terrible.
Oh, okay.
There's a reason that, like, every great offense in college football can run the ball. Even, like, LSU in 2019, the most dominant offense maybe in college football history.
Sure.
Clyde Edwards-Helaire was awesome. On that team.
He vaulted himself into the first round because that offense let him run wild.
Yeah.
He's not a first rounder. He vaulted himself there because that offense gave him great, and the offensive line gave him great holes to do so.
We got to be able to run the ball. We've got to have a step up on the offensive line. I'm sorry if I hurt your feelings. I know you love Tate Ratledge. I know that he's your guy and he has a mullet and it's fun. We really need Daniel Calhoun to be better than him. Like, if he's not, we really need him to be better than him, period. Point blank. Something's got to give on the offensive line.
Well, Daniel has given you hope because we've subtracted a lot of people that were very bad. He's also depressed you because we have question marks at almost every single position that we've replaced.
That's who I am. You've just summarized my role perfectly. So happy to be here.
He is Daniel. I'm Clint. Locked On Bulldogs by Locked On Podcast Network. We'll be back all next week. Hey, guess what? Camp notes.
Oh, we got a lot of camp notes.
We got some intel coming your way. We'll see you guys next week. See you guys then.
See ya.